So Suresh, you are also currently working from home itself, right?
Yes, yes.
Like how is your timing?
Morning 8 to 6.
8 to 6,
Yeah, 10 hours.
10 hours. Hi
Hi,
Sayed.
Hi.
good evening.
Hi,
Hi,
Mohammed.
Suresh.
Hi, Mohammed. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Shall we start?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Lata, can we start?
Yes, Sayed.
Okay. Yep. Could you please introduce yourself and tell me what are the tools you use and what are the tools you familiar?
Yeah. Thank you this opportunity. My name is Suresh Raju Vetkuri. I have overall experience in 4 years in IT. My relevant experience in Agile and Devops methodologies in 3 plus years. The past 3 years I have been working in Skylab Infotech and Private Limited Build and Release Engineer. Coming to my skills and responsibilities is hands-on experience on Linux and version control systems or build release engineer for that aspects, and also good knowledge about and experience in Jenkins CI/CD process. You can my field of day-to-day work, and also microservices like Docker and Kubernetes is doing in my side of the microservices. That is the only for it is also I am working in Helm charts also. And Next, hands-on experience of IAC infrastructure as a code is resources created in AWS also, and monetization of tools. You can Prometheus and Grafana. That is the way to monetize Kubernetes cluster. Uh, that is the my side of the technical stuff, and my roles and responsibilities coming to I create Jenkins pipelines and maintain the artifacts and builds and triggers how to activated do the particular issues are facing the which environment there is a deploy into that particular artifacts, and the facing of server issues or any problems and ticket raising, that is the resolve the solution. That is the my side of view, and also the monitoring of stuff is the Prometheus Grafana is a monitoring tool that cluster side. That is the way my side. Mohammed.
Okay, so you use Git and GitHub.
Yeah, I actually using a day-to-day. It is not a day-to-day activity, but I am Jenkins CI/CD process day-to-day. That is a flow. It is the team for build and release engineer. It is the developer side of the activities doing in Git and GitHub.
Okay, so you know any basic commands on Git?
Yeah, I know about basic
So
commands.
how do you initialize a repository?
First of all, initialize the repository is Git init. That a local repository is initialization of the .git folder. It is a hidden folder. That is the Git init.
Okay, so how do you get a repository from GitHub? Which command you use?
Git add.
No, I'm asking how do you get the repository? I'm not asking how
It is
to
the
add a
push
file.
to add. It is the current repository to the remote repository shifting.
Have you ever used git clone command?
Yes.
Yeah, git clone.
Git clone command is the remote repository. The data is cloned to the local repository.
Okay. So what is the difference between git merge and git rebase?
Git merge is basically it's doing some activities of a repository is a central repository. That is means of remote repository. The remote repository taken particular it is a merge to one branch is merge data to the another branch. You can take that particular command is the merge command, and the rebase is doing the changes of particular activities. The two commands are basically equal, but some interruptions are there in the rebase command.
Okay, what is the difference between fetch and pull?
It is the pull means fetch and merge actually. It is doing in
Okay.
pull. It is a fetch is the new data is coming to the remote to the local.
Okay.
It is downloading that.
Okay, how do you fix merge conflict?
The conflicts of merging is a separate concept. That is a way to implementation of my side aspects. I am doing. I am knowledge about that.
Okay.
Actually, is two branches are there. The is working in a development branch and a hotfix branch. It is the hotfix branch is something bugs arise in production server. The production server pick up that particular code is given to that hotfix branch. That is different two aspects of developers. So same code is pushed into that one branch. That is the conflicts is generated. After that conflicts is solved, that particular methodologies are there. That is the methodologies using that conflicts are resolved.
Okay. Okay. Tell me, how do you commit the changes and how do you push the changes into a GitHub?
It's basically for intelligence of Git is my knowledge in that particular Git is only for commit ID. To check the history purpose to commit ID generated, you can change the repository. You can change the central
No,
repository.
I'm asking what are the steps you follow for push the code into GitHub?
Yes, first of all, you can write the code in developers. You can add that particular code and
What command you use, and could you tell me the steps?
yes. Git git add command is to staging area. What are the staging area of the files to can add the repository. After that commit, you can commit that particular how to change the commit messages that are there, how to commit there. That particular commit is generated to push that particular it is how to edit or commit that particular file. You can push that remote repository. That is the way to steps to my side.
Okay, so have you ever used Jenkins?
Yeah,
So you know backend of Jenkins.
yeah.
How do you configure Jenkins and how to write a pipeline
Yes.
script?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, what is pipeline script and could you tell me the use case of pipeline?
The pipeline script basically it is the two types of pipeline scripts are there. One is the declarative and the scripted way to pipeline scripts. The scripted way to pipeline script is Groovy script. That is the programmatical language of script. It is declarative script is a human readable language and different stages are there.
Okay, so can you tell me the syntax of running Linux command in a particular machine?
Sorry, please.
So you have multiple slaves, okay, in Jenkins. Okay, you need to run some Linux command on those machines. Okay, example ls or do some df command something. Okay,
Yes, yes.
so you need to run this command in all the machines. So your requirement is you have to write a pipeline script for this.
Yeah,
Okay, what is the basic syntax you use? What is the basic syntax for this?
it is the pipeline script basically stored in the central repository. It is the GitHub.
Okay.
The pipeline script basically it is the multi branches pipelines are there on top of that branches. You can
Okay.
ask in the process. I am checking the process also. You can process to check that our top command is there. It is the how much CPU utilization, whatever backend of the process are there. That is the my side, and the on top of that branches, multiple branches to create that to connect the webhooks to concept to integrate that Jenkins to that is the pipeline to multiple pipelines are created in Jenkins dashboard. That is the my side of it is created of declarative pipeline. That is the process to build in artifacts is generated is stored in access repository. That is the way.
Okay, have you ever configured LDAP in Jenkins?
LDAP.
Active Directory?
Yes.
Yeah, Active Directory. Have you ever configured?
It is basically I am not using that particular activity present
Okay.
same time.
Okay, how do you? Okay, yeah, fine. How do you launch a slave in a particular Jenkins master? You need to add one machine as a slave. So, what are the steps you do?
You can slave the machines connected to that master. The master is the user credentials authentication. Is the multi-factor authentication is there.
Yeah, how do you connect the machine? How do you connect?
Yes, yes. User can access that particular. It is not installed on Jenkins in slave machines. You can master to access the particular key is where to that particular user is created in Jenkins master and is access to the slave server. So it is a dashboard based. Yeah.
You won't use any jar file or any file to attach that machine.
Yes.
That step I am asking. Could you tell me what are the steps you do?
Yes, yes.
To
So
attach
this is the attached to the machine. You can follow that different steps are there. You can process the master. It is the manage Jenkins. That is the user credentials section. You can user is how to credentials that access the slave machines. In this process to entirely in a declarative pipeline where two slave missions are what are the slave missions are identified, what are the credentials is assigned to that particular slave missions that is mentioned that the declarative pipeline that is way to create in the slave missions.
Okay, so you know AWS also, right?
Yeah.
Okay, tell me what is CloudWatch and why we are using CloudWatch.
CloudWatch is a monitoring services. It is the infrastructure monitoring. I am using in that is the it is a It is two type of monitoring of CloudWatch. What is the basic monitoring? It is the costless monitoring. There is a free cost. It is advanced monitoring is costful. It is basic monitoring 5 minutes to mention that particular activities is displayed in the AWS dashboard. The monitoring of the infrastructure is doing well. And also the detailed monitoring is every 1 minute is monitor. It is a CPU utilization, what is the metrics is used, what is the particular things happen with the notification for that emails, and assigning that. That is the way to monitoring the CloudWatch.
Okay, what is VPC?
VPC is a virtual private cloud. It is in the data center of the any environment. What is the preferred for what are the you can prefer in which cloud platform. VPC is the virtual private cloud in the separate section of the data center. That is provides it is the range of IPs. It is inside of the anything creation in this preferred for primarily in the client side requirement.
Okay, what are the storage classes available in S3?
The storage classes is the as per AWS documentation and prefer to read about in the practical way to implementation of S3. S3 storage classes 6 types. One is S3 standard, S3 infrequent access, S3 IA, S3 one zone IA, and S3 glacier, S3 glacier archive.
Okay, what is the relation between instance and AMI?
Sorry.
What is the relation between instances and AMI?
Yeah, instance is nothing but a virtual machine. It's a cloud.
Okay.
Instance is mean of AWS terminology is a instance. Is nothing but a machine. Which
Okay.
can provide different flavors in OS of Linux and Windows. The AMI is a Amazon machine image. We can provide the Amazon machine image is doing the which configurations of doing the inside of that particular image to transform region basis. Is we can transform one region to another region. Amazon machine image.
Okay, how do you enable version in S3?
Yes, versioning is basically is a Terraform is basically creation of documentation there. That is the formation of S3 bucket is creating. The way to implementation of the infrastructure as a code in different HashiCorp language. That is the versioning is the rollback and rollback. Yes.
I'm asking in S3 you will have option to enable version and disable the version. Okay, so what it does is whenever you do some changes in the file, it take a backup. Okay, in S3. So how do you enable? See, some organization they won't store this S3. Okay, because of cost effective.
Yes.
So how do you enable or disable that version in S3?
Actually, my knowledge about it is S3 is basically process about it is the URL based of access to others, and versioning of different kinds of there. That is
Okay, so
okay.
you are not aware about
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Okay, what is availability zone and region?
Availability zone is a country based of aspects. It is disasters happening in the way to implementation of things is region based. It is a region is inside of the multiple availability zones are there in AWS technology and AWS documentation. You can
Okay, what is IAM in
IAM is
AWS?
identity access management. It is have to build the primary users can control that security or to prefer any issues or in this access to that in this particular person to credentials created secure way to implementation of resources to build everything about inside of the IAM.
Okay, So you use Kubernetes also, right?
Yeah.
Kubernetes and Docker also,
Yes.
correct? Okay, what is Docker and what is the use case of Docker? Could you explain?
Docker is a containerization platform. You can use that in these containers are lightweighted to build upon a Docker engine. The Docker engine it is depend on base OS. The Docker engine upon that particular creator of containers, you can access the particular application IP address and port number. You can access that. That is the way to implementation of Docker. It is the lightweight, and any application is running in Docker container. It is the microservices based of applications. Is doing in one container is corrupted, another container is not struggle any issue. That is one type of advantages in Docker.
Okay, could you tell me the life cycle of Docker containers?
The Docker containers life cycle is based on to create one Docker file is there. Docker file is doing in it is some image, and the image is based upon some snapshot is some configurations. The image is creation to build in container. The container is that is the empty part of the container. What is the base OS are based on an alternative of inside of the OS, the preferred OS. After that, you can inside of that particular application you can run to access that container. That is the life cycle of Docker
Okay,
containers.
how do you list all the containers?
Docker PS.
Okay, so how do you stop a particular container? Do you have any command for that?
Docker stop it is particular container ID.
Okay, how to delete?
Docker delete.
Docker?
Docker delete.
Docker delete. Docker delete or Docker RM?
Yes, sorry. Docker stop after a container is stopped, after container is deleted, RM.
Okay. So how do you implement auto scaling in Docker?
Yeah, it is implementation of Docker Swarm.
Okay.
Basically, you can create that particular containers in compound way to implementation of Docker Swarm. It is as comparison of Kubernetes also.
Okay. So you are saying Docker Swarm used for auto scaling. Is it correct?
I am not understand about Docker. Docker Swarm is a particular containers or orchestration. That is the way to implementation of the scaling also.
So Docker Swarm is nothing but a Docker repository, correct? So
Docker Swarm is nothing but a Docker repository is correct.
then how it used for auto scaling?
It is not auto scaling is applicable. It is the correct version.
Okay.
Docker Swarm is not applicable. It is basic and it is advanced feature of Kubernetes only.
Okay. What is Docker namespace?
Docker namespace is a separate in the form of I am idea about that particular aspects is it's the creation of file of my side of intention. Docker file is created that particular web server. That is the implementation of which application is running. It is deployed into the Kubernetes cluster. That is way to my side view.
Okay. So what do you know about Docker Compose? Could you explain what is that?
Docker Compose is the combination of the containers of interact way to implementation of the Docker Compose.
Okay, what is Docker Compose? It's a network, or what is that? What is its application?
It is the network based of communication between the containers.
No, Docker compose is a file, right?
Yeah,
So what are the things you mentioned in that file?
it is basically I am idea about that particular Docker compose, but it is the file is written. We can follow that commands and everything is exposed that outside the world. That is the way to my side of conviction.
Okay.
That is the it is the upgrade of the skills to implementation of the Docker and Kubernetes also.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, thanks, Suresh. I will inform HR.
Okay.
So they will update you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Thanks
Mohammed,
for answering the questions. Yeah, thanks.
my question is asking for you.
Yeah, please.
This is the roles and responsibility. What is the taken to my side? It is how to join this company. The roles and responsibilities asking for me.
So this interview is for Intute, I think. So for Intute only they said, right?
Okay.
So mostly it kind of a SRE role. You are familiar with SRE, right?
Yeah.
So it is like you need to handle AWS, and there are some other tools like Chef and Jenkins are there. So you need to handle those tools.
It is the
Mostly,
product-based company.
yeah. Go ahead.
It is the product-based company.
Yeah, it's a product-based company.
Yeah. Please proceed.
Have you ever heard QuickBase and other tools?
Yes. I am Splunker there. Splunker long modern tool.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
a different Prometheus and Grafana is the monitoring of the Kubernetes cluster. What happen is the running of the application. Whatever you can deploy the application after you decide the what happening that inside of the Kubernetes cluster is watching and monitoring tools also.
Yeah. So we use Splunk also. So you have to write some Python script and other automation script for.
Yeah, sorry. Basically, I am doing in presently in build and triggers and parameter builds, and Polar CMC is doing in the Python-based application to implementation of the script-based. That
Okay.
is day-to-day. My activity is CI/CD process only. It is the extra knowledge of AWS and CAD. Actually, I am based off different servers are there. I am it is the build and my knowledge and expose the my knowledge, and it is the encourage to others, and everything is doing something is grab the others and doing in difficult situations. You can follow the documentation and fulfill your everything about the practical way. That is my side.
Okay. Nice. Okay.
Please report in the positive way to implementation my side of everything stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
Carry
Thanks.
out that second round of interview.
Yeah.
Please,
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bye.
Leave the call. Docker में गट कर किसी